Okay, so thank you and welcome everyone for being here this is the third module of 2021 of BSIEM program. We had an amazing program hosted by Nirja in India on February, and then later on April with Karina at UDEN. So it was really, really great and really inspiring. So we here in Brazil, we have a big mission to keep the program going and bring different perspectives and also sharing the Brazilian reality with you guys and what we are doing here and in the topic of social innovation. So for starting, I would like to invite Professor Norman, who is the president and dean of ISAE, to do a welcome speech for everyone.
Thank you, Gustav. But I would like to emphasize the importance for us, the success of BSIEM in the third edition this year. And I think that the most important is how rich is to integrate all the actors, all the participants in this event. We have a very important challenge that is to discuss about the reality. And I was talking about how innovative we have to develop these exercises. And we have a big challenge that is the quality and how innovative would be the results of this discussion. I think that it is a great responsibility that we have to create new situations and to solve a series of problems that we have. I would like to emphasize not only social problems, but we have to discuss about the environmental and to discuss about the new solutions that this group has about the discussion and to redefine new solutions. And I think, Gustavo, that the BSIEM is a very good activity and to make this discussion, to have this big challenge. And for them, I'm sure that for them, it's important to emphasize our relationship with the FGV, the Fundación Getúlio Vargas. I don't have any doubts about the importance of this DNA FGV in the evolution of ISAE. And for me, especially, is a great role that we have to involve many partners, many friends, many schools, many countries to create these activities that are our activity. The BSIEM nowadays is recognized by the UN, the Prime, about this initiative. And they recognize how important in to create this international event. And I used to say that we have to create this interculturality, multiculturality, transculturality. And this is the challenges that we at ISAE are making in this process, to create in this process, to evolve with the culture of these different experiences, and to evolve in order to create another standard of solution for these problems that you have to solve. And Gustavo, I would like to emphasize that your dedication of this program as the president of ISAE, for me is an honor have you in this coordinating this process. And I would like to emphasize the importance and how to integrate these people from different schools, and I am sure about the high quality of their results. I am satisfied with the high quality that we have in this integration and the high quality of the people that are participating, the high quality of the students, the professors, the speakers. And for us, it is very, very, very important to start nowadays one edition of the BSIEM again. And I'm sure that the UN will participate in the close of this event, having a report about the results. So I would like to desire to all of you a very special program with a special results in this. It's a great forum to discuss about all the subjects, and I'm sure about the how benefits that you will generate for the society as a whole. So success for you, and for me it's an honor to be the speaker just to open this event. And you are the most important participants of this net of speakers. And I would like to desire success for each one and for the success of the event. Okay? Thank you so much, and success for you.
Thank you, Professor Norma, for being here and for being so supportive for this kind of initiatives and projects. I know that in the international activities of ISAE, it's part of the strategy and part of the core and the heart of ISAE since the beginning. So it's really great for being part of this and together with our partners, organize and promote programs like this. Well, after this, we are just about to start the program. I just have some housekeeping points to share with you guys, and that is important. So first, a really big thank you for our partners that are here, Jose, Natalia, also Nirja and Karina, who are able to join in a bit. This is a really collaborative project that we developed this together and doing this year after year and with so many challenges and change. So it's really great to be part of this and see this happening. And about the program, this Brazilian week, just some points. First, I think it's important. We sent in the email, so if you guys could rename yourselves just with your name and your institution, so this will be really helpful. So we can know where you coming from, and this helps you facilitate the possible interactions and discussions between the groups, etc., that we're going to have in the following days. The program, so we are dealing with different time zones. So now it's 9 a.m. Brazilian time, 7 a.m. in Colombia, 7 a.m. in Mexico, 3 p.m., around 3 p.m. in Russia, and 5:30 in the evening in India. So try to organize yourselves for being here on time, as the session is just 2 hours. So we would like to keep this agenda going. It's really important that everyone try to interact between each other. So this is a program that we have 5 big countries, 5 big nations, and really good experience from you guys. So as you saw in the enrollment process, etc., we saw there's a lot of knowledge and different backgrounds. So this is the richness of the programs. You be open to hear from each other, for learn from each other, for share this experience. So please really enjoy the time that you are here in the room, in the discussion groups, in the activities. So it's really important that you interact and promote this kind of discussions, for being a program that is really participative, and in the end we could have good results and share these good results. Also, you're going to receive in your email the groups that you're assigning for the activities. So we are having some group discussions and activities and challenges that you're going to do. And for this year, we are going to do multinational teams. So you're interacting with students from different countries in the same group for the challenge. So you're going to receive in your email the contact information, the WhatsApp information, so you can keep the interact going. So you're going to receive this by today. And well, from our side, it's really good that you're here. As we send also the program for receive the certificate in the end, you have to attend and participate in 75% of the program. So it's important, the attendance and participation, to have this certificate. Well, from our side, we are really happy to have you all here and really enjoy the program. And for start, I would like to invite our really dear friend and partner, Luisa Bonin, for our first session in social challenge. So Luisa, welcome here. Luisa is in São Paulo, so ISAE is here in Curitiba. Luisa is in São Paulo, Brazil, and she's going to present a little bit about social challenge and open the discussions for this program. So welcome everyone. Luisa, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Gustavo. Thank you so much, Gustavo and Katia, for the invitation. Thank you, ISAE, and welcome everyone. I'm very happy to be here. For this morning, as Gustavo said, I prepared and I will present something about social challenges. And before that, I will just talk a little bit about my work. So I will share my screen. I think I can share my screen. I need just, Katia, if you able me as a host for sharing my screen, it would be nice. Thank you. It's very nice to see your faces, guys, in this Monday morning from all over the world. Very, very happy to be here. All right, so this is share. So you guys are seeing my my presentation? Okay. Yes. Thank you so much for the audio feedback. You can always open your mics, and this is a conversation, so please feel free to interrupt me if you have any doubts. So as Gustavo said, I'm Luisa Bonin. I graduated in public relations. I worked as communication director at an NGO in Curitiba called Aliança Empreendedora. I work as a communication director for 7 years. What we do at Aliança Empreendedora is we support low-income and low-educated micro-entrepreneurs to develop their little business in Brazil, all over Brazil. Also, during my time as a communication director, I co-founded with Aliança Empreendedora our online platform. It's called Tamo Junto, which means we are together. I'm going to talk a little bit about Tamo Junto to understand the social challenge that we are tackling. And today, my work in the organization is focused on fundraising and partnerships. Also to Tamo Junto and Aliança Empreendedora, and I also work with photography and communication consultants to art projects. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about Tamo Junto, about my project. Then I think it's gonna make a good context for today's issue. All right. Just you to know, to each formal entrepreneur in Brazil, we have 3 at the informal market. This is Ginette. Ginette is one of the micro entrepreneurs that we supported. She lives in Paraisópolis. Paraisópolis is one of the huge favelas in Brazil, in São Paulo. She did not finish formal education. She did not receive a previous entrepreneurship training, but her small grocery shop is the only source of income of her family. And also she started by necessity. She has no financial education, doesn't know how to price their goods and services, doesn't know how to formalize their businesses, no emergency savings, and now, especially in the pandemic, has hit them hard. She has no credit scores or no access to microcredit, and also a big behavior issue that she do not see herself as entrepreneur, all right? But at Aliança Empreendedora, at Tamo Junto, we believe that everyone can be an entrepreneur with access to good training, and this is what we offer. So this is the huge team, part of the huge team of Aliança Empreendedora, not a lonely effort, always a team effort, okay? So at Aliança Empreendedora, we started supporting micro-entrepreneurs in the communities. So we go at the communities and make trainings in groups. But in Tamo Junto, we do that online. And it's 85% cheaper. So it's a model that helps us to be everywhere in a more cheaper way. This is our website, just to you to see the way that we present our solution to the micro entrepreneur, how we support them. We offer free, quick, straight to the point, and video classes, articles, tools to download that everyone can access for free by their smartphones. So micro entrepreneurs can find there how to price their goods and services, how to manage their finances, how to formalize the businesses, how to sell online. We are the first Brazilian platform that makes content to the low-income micro-entrepreneur in the way that the micro-entrepreneur gets, in the right language. So we teach and we entertain at the same time. Also important to say that our content has a lot of self-acknowledgement classes to help them to create a perspective and a path with real role models that they can relate to. So a lot of low income and low educated micro-entrepreneurs, they don't see themselves as entrepreneurs. They just see the rich ones, the big ones that go to the TV and television with the suits. So it's important to us to show role models that they can relate, so they can imagine themselves as entrepreneurs succeeding, and then they will look for support and they will make the classes. A little bit about the profile of the people that we support. So 79% of our users are women and 46% are Black and brown. And a little bit about our numbers. So today we have more than 100,000 users in the platform here in Brazil. Our finalization rate is 28%. 28% maybe seems low, but the standard rate for free online courses is 9%. So 28% is a very good rate. We more than double users during the pandemic. So one of the problems of the pandemic that we have, that micro entrepreneurs stayed without clients, without selling, so they are very much affected by, and we help them to sell online. We support them during this time to create resilience. So we started the pandemic with 32,000, so today we have more than 100,000. So people are really finding good content at our platform. And also we expand our content. Now we have a platform, it's made to Spanish, to Latino immigrants here in Brazil, refugees and immigrants, especially from Venezuela, from Bolivia. And also we are launching a platform in Lusitano Portuguese in Portugal, focusing on Brazilian and African that speak Portuguese in Portugal. So one of the great impacts that we have is 60% of the people that finished courses last year, they improved their standards of life. So also a little bit about impact assessment. So this is our problem. So, and right now I'm gonna talk about social issues in more broadly way, but I needed to present the work that we do, that to see where I come from, right? So before I started this class, I asked help from my teacher from 2016. So this is James too. James, I participate on a fellowship, and she taught us about the systemic thinking perspective. So how we see social challenges, how we see social issues in a system thinking perspective, not in a linear thinking perspective. So I will present this mindset for you, and then we will talk about social issues at the pandemic. But I think it's very important not just only to list the social issues, but to try to understand and see these issues as a whole, that they are, not just as a simple solutions. All right. So I want to invite you all to make a quick exercise. So I will ask you to have your papers and pens, and I will give you all, if everyone is okay with that, just thumbs up here and say okay. My invitation is to you to list 5 social problems that the pandemic is creating. Very simple, not too much thinking, just the 5 social problems that you can remember right now that the pandemic is creating. So 1 minute. Was this 1 minute enough? Does anyone need more time? I'm seeing faces down writing, so I will just wait a little bit. Okay, a lot of you with faces up. Can everyone get a thumbs up if it's okay, the 5 social issues? All right. Thanks. So the to continue, I want to ask you to organize these social issues that that you already wrote down. So let's separate the problems. The ones about people's health, you just put in one side, or you just circle it and you separate from the other ones. So I'm asking to you to just separate the ones that strictly related to the health issues, and the other ones separated. Like 30 seconds, right? I think it's okay. It's a simple exercise, just you to. And if I want to invite someone that wants to share, I want to invite more than one people, but someone are up to share the problems that you listed and the way that you organize these problems. So Michael, yes, please.
Hey, hi everybody. Not sure if you're hearing me.
Yes, we are hearing you.
Well, I listed 5 social problems that were, well, in sort of a manner increased by the pandemic, right? Poverty,
Okay.
inequality,
Okay.
Women labor, low-income businesses were impacted more, right? And violence.
Okay, and any one of them you related directly with health issues?
I actually, I don't think I circled any one of these, right?
Okay.
I was thinking in pandemic, not as a, well, as you were talking as businesses, I was focused on like,
yes, no,
on,
yes,
on
that's
that side
perfect.
of the, yep.
Yeah, that's perfect, because we are seeing that not the problems that pandemic is creating are not just related with health issues, right? So that's important. Does anyone wants to share? Thank you so much, Michael.
I do.
Hi. Nice.
Hi.
Welcome.
So I wrote 5 social, no, not social. So only issues or problems about COVID, environmental issues, contamination because of the plastic, use of plastic. As my partner or classmate, unemployment related on operative labor, like housemates or cleaning houses or like that kind of labor or work.
Yeah.
This is a really hard one because I like this kind of sector. It's like art. It's transforming the perception about artists and make income. So now you have to do it by virtual tools. And health issues about not related with not access to public health system. And technological issues about education because everything turned to virtual tools. And here in Colombia, it's really hard to some community or rural community have access to this kind of tools to access to education.
Yes, yes, I think it's very much the same here in Brazil. A lot of students are out of school because of that. Thank you very much, Isabel. Did you wrote like, I think the health issues are the direct ones, right? Does anyone
right.
other that you wrote that you highlight as related directly with health?
That one, not access to public system, to public health system. Not else. No more.
Perfect, perfect. So thank you very much, Isabel and Michael. Because of the time, I will not open for no more, but I think what we see, and I want to also as someone to talk about that, is that the pandemic, it's not a thing that affects only health, right? We are seeing that. Maybe I want you to just reflect on that, what you wrote. It's only health issues. Did you wrote other things? Does anyone wants to share that impressions about how pandemic is affecting not just health issues, but it's a problem that it's broader? Does anyone want to share these thinkings?
Luisa, I have some points that I brought here related to the health. It's like more for the psychology part, like some they are like isolation, inattention, and personal relationship too. It's more, I think that's affecting like the psychology.
Yeah. Very important. Thanks too much, Eduardo. So depression and mental health issues, they are a problem right now also. So I think that we could see that the pandemic is not a linear problem, right? So let's go on. So what we are seeing here, that the pandemic problems are complex problems. And these problems are working in a systemic way. There are no easy or linear solutions, right? We cannot just solve the health issues. We cannot just solve the employment issues. Everything is connected. So what we are looking at the pandemic thing is a complex system working. I want to talk to you about the way that you can see complex problems. I'm sure that a lot of you are already know this concept, but I wanted to make sure that to bring this concept also. So how can we organize the types of problems? And again, this is my friend James that they taught me, and they helped me to present this for you. So I'm bringing the examples the exact way that he brings me, right? So how can we organize, and what's the type of problem of making a cake? A cake is a very simple thing, right? So 8 steps, maybe a 7-year-old, 8-year-old with a little help can make a good cake like this one, right? So if you just follow the recipe and you get a result. So making a cake is a simple problem. But let's talk about oil. I forgot the name of the platform, the oil platform. Thanks, brain. I was forgetting the word. So an oil platform, it's not a simple problem, but it's a complicated problem. Like you need a lot of engineers, you need a lot of study and physics, math, chemics. But if you get the right people, we can make the same things and get the right results. It's a complicated one, but it's not so tricky, right? But we also have problems like this little girl. This little girl is my niece. Her name's Laura, and she's a complex problem because my sister and my family need to raise her. And one day she reacts very nice to, no, okay, you cannot do that. But the other day she just cry a lot and do not want to make what the thing that my sister wants to her to do. So people are complex problems, right? It's a lot of systems of education and family working on Lara, so she can be raised and she will be an adult, a healthy adult. So this is a complex problem. So for me, it's very nice to see how can we just, oh, wait, sorry. Me again, okay, sorry. So we can organize the types of problems. And the way I think we see and we can relate to the pandemic is a complex problem. We cannot solve just one thing. We need to see as a systemic. So let me just, okay. So the next one is a quote about Yunus. I think a lot of you know Yunus, Muhammad Yunus. So he said that poverty is not created by poor people. It is created by the system all around us. So if you want to remove poverty, you need to look at the system as a whole and ask to the system what is wrong. So it's not just one thing. You need to look to the whole system. But we are always linear thinkers, right? When we see a problem, we want to solve that problem like as quickly as possible. But this is not what happened in our world. Our world is chaos, is systemic, is complexic. So we need to think in a non-linear way. So I'm inviting you to see the problems that you live in a non-linear thing, and to think what the kind of system is working in this problem. So the definition of systemic thinking is the ability to understand seemingly unrelated interconnections in a such way as to achieve a desired purpose. So we need to work at the whole system, right? Just another example, if we want to change that mindset from linear to systemic. The simple thinking, they just look someone to blame. But the systemic thinking, they look on how the system is operating. The simple thinking just say, it's not my fault. But if you think in a systemic way, you will see that we are all part of the system working. In a simple thinking, the cause and the effect are very close neighbors. They are very related. But if we look in a systemic way, maybe it's hard to see the cause and effect. It's maybe hard to determine what's causing what. And in simple thinking, A, B, C, 1 + 2 = 3. But in a system thinking, 1 + 2 can be anything. So it's very, very surprising. So systems, they surprise us. We cannot wait for linear things to happen. So I think it's very important to us, to see the problems that we are facing right now with the pandemic in a systemic way. This is a very sad picture. This is from Manaus, here in Brazil. So yesterday we get the number of 500 people dead from COVID here in Brazil, 500,000 people, right? And how can we see this problem in a systemic way? The thinkers about systemic thinking, they always said that everything that's going on that reality, it's perfect design to get that result. So the new variant, our Bolsonaro president doing nothing, the systemic health of the place, the way people are dealing with the lockdown restrictions, everything was designed to bring that result. So the world that we live in is perfectly designed to get the results that we are seeing, right? Everything is operating in the system. So if we want to change the results, we need to change the system. It's not enough to change one thing. So this is just a perfect example of what's going on here. That is a systemic thing, right? So just a quick example. How can we see systems working in a social issue? So this is a very nice exercise. You will, how can we see a system operating? So I just put here my experience with the micro entrepreneurs that we support, and then you can all use the same exercise in your reality on the things that you want to change. So in the center, we're going to put, not right now because we don't have time, but after that I will send this to Gustavo, and then you can exercise, but just you to see how to think systemic. Put the problem in the center. So micro entrepreneurs are having their sales down to zero with the pandemic. This is the problem. What's the other problems that relate? What are the other problems that are operating in the system? So the system is that the physical store needed to close in the lockdown, like beauty salons. People live in the favelas and the communities, and the physical isolation to stop COVID is impossible. So this is another problem not related to the business. The low education and stress. So the low income and low educated people, they are in stress. They don't know how to innovate. For them, their business is done. Oh my God, what I'm going to do today? So, and also they don't see themselves as entrepreneurs. So when a tragedy happens, they are very much depressed. They are not digitally included, so they don't know how to sell online. So it's a lot of problems and systems operating together. The other thing is they don't have financial savings to survive. So they immediately get in debt only to survive, all right? So, and also another problem that's moms now have their kids home and also need to take care of them because of the system that, the patriarchal system that we live. Moms, they need to take care of the children and they need to work. So it's a lot of things working in just only one problem. So it's very important to us to try to highlight when we see a problem, how can we highlight, how can we look above and see all the other problems that are operating to maintain the central problem, okay? Well, this is the system thinking that I wanted to bring to you. But also, the final question is, what is the one complex challenge that you are currently working on to change? So how can you see what is this complex challenge? And looking again, what is the system that is perpetuating that problem? So sometimes looking, thinking on social solutions, it's more important to us to see the system and not just one thing. We have right now 10 more minutes for me to go on and to highlight the social issues that we are dealing right now. But I want to open like 1 minute if anyone wants to share thinking that that's very quickly opening of the problems in a complex way, gets you any insight of what we are living. It would be nice.
I have a comment, Lu.
Okay.
I think this system thinking is really important to see, and you showed the example of the pandemic, because, of course, in the center, we have this health problem that is like people are dying for this, etc. But when we look to the other problems related, this is really big. So we have in the center the disease itself, but this reverberates in different dimensions because we have economic problems on that. So we have more poverty and we have inequalities. We will have a really huge lack of education. So educational gap that will be really hard to overcome in the next, I don't know, 5 years or 10 years, right in the future. And we also have companies that are closing, micro entrepreneurs that are like losing their business, people losing their jobs, also lots of conflicts and polarization all over the world. So this is a huge example about this systemic view, how the, especially when we're talking about challenges and problems, they are really interconnected. But also we're going to talk about innovation in the program. And I think this system thinking is also important to innovate. So we can, if you see and understand the problem as complex, as a complex thing, not just a thing that we just solve it, that problem and it's everything done, but it's really related to other things and interconnected interactions. So it would be, I would not say easier, but it's a way to see solutions to so this interaction. So I really like it, the perspective that you bring on this systematic view.
That's nice. And that's it, Gustavo. I think that's the exactly thing that I wanted to bring. So, and for the next slides, we have a lot of organizations that are studying. Let me just pass the slide. Okay. A lot of organizations that are studying right now the social issues that are highlighted in the pandemic, in the post-pandemic world for those nations that are already rising out of everything that is happening. But I think the one place that you will need always to look is the Sustainable Development Goals from UN. So this is a very nice place to look. So they made this agenda for 2030. So they want to tackle these problems. And I think it's very important to you to go to their website and just browse and see how they are tackling those problems and how they see that we can overcome these problems. This is very important because all the solutions, they are very systemic, they are not linear solutions. So this is very nice. And to bring to you the big problems, the big social challenges that we are facing right now in the pandemic, I studied and I brought some places that you also can look after, okay? So a lot of articles and knowledge is being shared in United Nations. So this is some links: United Nations, OECD, so the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the World Economic Forum, and also world big consultancies like PwC or maybe McKinsey. They are doing a lot of content about what we are dealing with. I just brought some examples that I think it's very, very important to you to see, but I will not read, I will just talk about them. You receive these informations after that. So the United Nations highlighted that one of our big issues is ensuring equity and inclusivity at the heart of all we do. People of color, women, girls, poor people are being more affected by the pandemic. So this is making more inequality. So look for inclusion, look for equity. It's very important. Also, they highlighted that the Sustainable Development Goals was thinking to 2030, but with the pandemic, we set back human development by as much by 20 years. So if you want to achieve the development that we wanted in 2030, we need to work much faster and much more in a much more intelligent way. The other thing that they highlighted is the making peace with our planet. So the environmental issues, all that we are passing through right now is going together with all the climate change that we are living, this ecological crisis. So it's very important that we do not just do not think about this climate crisis that we are dealing with. The other thing that they highlighted is looking how we deal with a humanitarian catastrophe. So what we are living right now, maybe not for us, because I know that a lot of us are very privileged, are in our houses with internet and can talk and Zoom, but a lot of people lost everything. So we are dealing with a humanitarian catastrophe that it will take time to set all things back together, okay? The other thing that United Nations highlighted is that we need to reimagine multilateralism, is that this crisis was very much spread by the globalization. So we saw how quick and how fast things started to spread, the virus started to spread all over the world, but also we saw a lot of solidarity responses, a lot of organizations working together to develop the vaccine, to everything. But this is not enough. So we need to reimagine multilateralism to be able to deal with this problem. Other things that I highlighted from the World Economic Forum, they said that they already also talk about global governance. This is a very important thing that we need to deal with. They talk about the lack of trust in and between organizations. So this is very important for us to work for every organization, NGOs, government, enterprise to work together. They need to build trust, and the levels of trust are slowing down. The raising nationalism, so this is a very big problem that we are facing. Other problem that they highlighted, how big cities respond to a big crisis. Cities like São Paulo, cities like Mexico City, they are more affected by the pandemic, by the closing the services, as compared to smaller cities. So the cities will need to adapt. They talk about also global flow of people, global flow of foods, goods, ideas, technologies. So a lot of people right now that have like scholarships in other countries from Brazil, they are not able to go to these other countries because we are a country of a variant of constraints. So we can go to Germany, even to study, to anywhere. So it's very much a big problem, this flow of people. The need of digital inclusion, also the job losses, of course, the non-essential global chains, they are collapsing, depression and mental health issues, domestic abuse. So I think a lot of things that I'm talking here is a lot of things that you brought. So yes, we are needed to dealing with this. And Gustavo, now is 10. I just want to ask if I finish or if I have like 5 more minutes. And no, it's okay if I need. Okay, thanks so much. So, and I just highlighted other things But again, the links will be here, and I encourage you to look after. There's a lot of organizations that are doing this hard job of building knowledge about what we are passing right now. So PwC is talking about economy, of course. So one of our biggest issues is the economy of the job and the job losses. The other thing is healthcare, but this article highlighted a thing that I thought was very much surprise for me. They say that because of COVID, other things, other health problems will rise this year and the other year. So yes, a lot of people do not get treatment from their problems during this pandemic. So the other health issues will rise. Education, as Gustavo said, so people in low-income countries, low-educated people, low-income people, they do not have access to internet. Here in Brazil, a lot of young people dropped out of school in these times. So, and as Gustavo said, we do not know how much this long run of this impact will affect us, because we will just see how people not educated are not being educated right now, like in 10, 50 years from now. So this is a very big and important issue that we need to deal with. Other thing is national safety and security. So as our inequality rises, as our poverty rises, also violence and security issues are a problem. So crime, domestic violence, everything that we are always deal with right now, they are more common, more frequent. This systemic operates in a way that this is more common. Also, they say about digital security, that because right now we need to be digital everywhere. So another thing that we need to look after is digital security. They say about climate. So yes, we want to deal with COVID. We need to deal with COVID, but we cannot forget about the climate. And the other thing that I think it's very much important, that I also bring in the other slide from World Economic Forum, is trust in government. So the disinformation around the governments, people that are spreading fake news itself, everything that we deal that can affect trust, especially in government, in other things, that's a big issue in the times that we are living in. And also that's they tell us to look to the Edelman Trust Barometer. It's very nice. It's a very nice company that studies trust. So this is some of the subjective issues that I think are very important to us to also see in a systemic way. That was it that I prepared for today, Gustavo. Sorry for the minutes that I passed. And if we had, this is my email. You can all reach me. I'm Luisa Bonin on LinkedIn. I will be very happy to see your faces on LinkedIn. I could not see the faces of everyone here. And that's it. I want to pass the word to Gustavo and just say again, and thank you for this opportunity. And I hope every one of you could enjoy and think a little bit more about the issues that we are facing.
Thank you, Luisa. I think it was a really inspiring and great session for start thinking and put some oil in the engines for the program start. So it's interesting to bring this perspective. And also would like to thank you for your time, for being here and sharing those points. And there's a lot of material and reference in the material that you prepared. So if you could send some information for us and to share with the students would be really great to achieve the links and contacts. Anyone have any questions to Luisa or any comment? I think we can spend 1 or 2 minutes on that if anyone would like to bring the stage. Great. Okay, Luisa, thank you so much. Should we take a picture with everyone? So
Yes.
for registered. So if everyone could open cameras, just say hi, and we can print for register this moment. There you go. There you are. Great. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. One more. 1, 2, 3, go. There you go. Perfect. Thank you so much, Luisa. Thank you for your time, for being here today, this morning.
Thank you again, Gustavo, Katia, and everyone. And I hope everyone enjoyed this awesome problem that ISAE is working on, and have you all an awesome week, a safe week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and take care of each other's. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Well, really nice session, everyone. So really good to start. And I think some points we're going to pick up again in the program in different activities and projects. So it's really good that we also bring this system perspective and systematic view to see challenge and see problems. And now we're going to move in opportunities and ways to change and bringing innovative perspectives on them as we are talking about social innovation in general in this post-pandemic world. We now talk about challenge, and now it's time to talk about innovation in a point. So I would like to invite Alexandre to take the stage and bring this perspective about how innovation can help to create impact, to change, to move the world forward on that. So Alexandre, thank you for being here. The floor is yours.
Good morning, Gustavo. Good morning, everyone. Very nice to be here with you. And well, it's a pleasure to be with all you. And I really would like to thank you, Gustavo and Katia, for the opportunity. I would like to start presenting myself. So my name is Alexandre. I'm here from Curitiba. It's the same city than Luisa. And I am a social entrepreneur. I started with 2 friends, a nonprofit organization a few years ago, like 13 years ago. It's been a while. And it was a very, very nice and very great journey, because this nonprofit organization works to include disabled people and society. I have a sister with Down syndrome and autism, and we started this organization inspired in my sister's story. And it was a very, very nice moment, because we are in the graduation. We started like let's help someone, let's try to do something nice in the society. And during those last 13 years, we had the opportunity to learn a lot. And this organization called ISAE Brasil, we started here in Curitiba. The first 2 years, it was very difficult to create a social innovation model, to create a business model. And after those 2 years of a lot of difficulty, we started to find our way. And how can I say, we started to discover some opportunities, some business models, some alternatives to make impact. And this was the way that I started my career. After some years, ISAE received a lot of awards and a lot of great things in the social impact area. I had the opportunity to study a lot about social innovation, social entrepreneurship, nonprofit management in some executive programs. So I studied a little I studied some executive programs in Harvard, ISAE, Stanford, and after that I started to be professor in some universities about those thematics. And in the last year, I made a transition of CID Brasil to another company. That is a company that I'm starting called Agro Social or Agro Social, where we work with education for professionals who work in the impact area, and we work with venture capital for social business. So we have investment in social business as an angel perspective or seed money. And so this is a really summary of those last 13 years. And I would like to make this moment as a conversation. So I have a presentation with just some few slides, but I really want to hear you and understand what do you like to discuss about social innovation? What is your perspectives about social innovation? What do you understand about social innovation? And for we can start to make this great conversation for the next hour here. So anyone who want to bring something, it would be very nice to hear you.
I would like to ask a question. Is about, I have a discussion with my boss about what is the difference between social innovation and public innovation. Like public innovation is related with government innovation, but what is the main difference between social innovation and public innovation? Because both of them try to solve problems about the social or people or communities. So what is the main difference?
Very nice, very nice. So let's take a step behind and what is the difference between a social innovation and any innovation? What do you think about it?
Like I said, I said before, it's like, I think that social innovation is related with people, but it's related with working with people to solve their problems. So I work with that community and try to that community to solve their problems. I don't make this innovation for them. They build this innovation for them. So I try to work with them, to build with them, or yeah, it's like we work together to build a better solution to that problem they are facing.
Yeah, it's a very good point, and I want to make a question that it's a very good question, I think, because they made for me a few years ago, and I thought a lot about it. Like you have in Brazil, just some for make some scenario. We have I believe maybe 14 million unemployed people, so people without job. Okay, and I don't know the exact number, but everyone knows Uber, and I believe I heard about it. We have almost 1 million people working at Uber in Brazil, or maybe 500,000, something like this. A lot of people. And Uber, it's creating revenue for a lot of people. So maybe 500,000, maybe 1 million, I don't know exactly, but a lot of people, okay? And we have a crisis, everyone knows about it, in Brazil, in the world, but in Brazil especially. And so Uber, the idea of the app where you connect someone who needs to make I don't know, who needs to get from here to here, and you have someone who have a car, and that people can make this, and Uber connect them. Uber is a social innovation or not? Consider Uber, it's creating revenue for 500,000 people or maybe 1 million people in Brazil.
I don't think so, because you need to have a car to be part of Uber, to be a part of a Uber driver. So I don't think so. It's like Rappi here in Colombia. I don't think that Rappi is making a lot of jobs opportunities for some people, like messengers. But I don't think that Rappi is thinking like a social innovation or social social solution for the Colombian issues that we have here about unemployment. So attack some social issues, but it's not a social innovation because that is not the core of the business. It's not the core of the business they are building or the business they are doing. So I don't think so. But attack the social issue, yes, but it's not the core of the business.
Okay. Who else? Daisy, José, Eduardo, Natalia. Who wants to add something?
I think Isabel has a point. I agree with her.
Okay, the main idea, what makes a social innovation a social innovation? So we have something that I like a lot from a professor that I don't remember the name who created this, but I heard from the guy called Felipe Santos. He's from Portugal. And he said that we have, when Adam Smith brings in the economics the invisible hand, we have in the social entrepreneurship movement something that we can call as an invisible heart. So it's the idea of the intention. What is the purpose behind? Today, Uber create millions of jobs, okay, or maybe we can rephrase, millions of people have revenue because of Uber in the whole world. But that is a way of Uber have more money. When Uber has the okay of I don't know who to have the automatic car without drivers, he will make this. So he will change his business model to something that you don't need more drivers. And that you can have a consequence. Like I can say, you have 1 million of NGO in Brazil trying to create jobs. But the sum, the total of all of these NGOs cannot create the same result as Uber. That is a fact. But still, Uber is not a social innovation because the purpose is not social. So we started social innovation understanding the purpose. And you have two visions. That is a very beautiful thing. In one way, you have the capitalism. You have a competitive advantage, market secrets. You have I don't know in English, it's the 5 strengths of Porter, everyone knows? Yes, okay. So how you can close this market to be only yours. So how can I extract the most value for me of this market? So it's a logic of self-interest. That is the traditional capitalism. And you have here the story of NGOs, especially from the church, when you say you have to give, you have to give, you have to give. And in the middle, you have a logic of empowerment, of co-creation solution, where Isabel said a little about it. How can I co-create the solution with the people? You have a logic of systemic transformation and non-dependent transformation. So Uber, it's very good to Uber that the drivers depend of the Uber. That is a strength when you look with the Porter strength. I'm saying, okay, they depend on me because Brazil is in a crisis, so I can pay less to them and they still be with me. When I'm talking about social innovation, I'm talking how can I create empowerment to them? For one day, they don't depend on me. They can create their own revenue, and I can step out from a company perspective, and they will be standing there. So they can be able to stand their position. So when we look social innovation perspective, we have this dilemma. We are in the middle, looking for empowerment, looking for systemic change, looking for interest in the others. So that is the biggest perspective, the biggest change in the perspective way of social innovation. So we have a lot of innovation here in many ways, in many perspectives, happening in the whole world. When you look to a startup, you look to the Silicon Valley, and etc., etc. But when you have a perspective retain to capture value to you, it's not a social innovation, it's just an innovation. When you look in a perspective on create value to the others and a systemic change and empowerment change, you have a social innovation. So I know I'm being a little theoric here, but it's important to understand the difference and the barriers to them.
Yeah, I mean, here, Isabel, because I know what you're talking about, but social innovation, because we had a previous discuss, is when it's the similar process. You can use the same tool when you are working in normal innovation, but the main difference is when the main driver is to solve a social problem. Because the reason of the social entrepreneurs like Alexandri is to solve a problem or situation, the social or today environment problem. So the main driver from him is to create a solution for a specific vulnerable condition or community, and that's the main difference. And when you are going deeper in social innovation, we can talk about frugal innovation. Frugal innovation is a theory that we are using in Africa, and I have the chance to in India. You have the same opportunity, because when you are using this like second-hand, devices like computers, in India, you can find really nice example about frugal innovation. For example, I remember a case about ambulance service, and the same people in the community, they are using small devices and they are trying to reach people that they don't have access to the quick attendance in the hospital. And in India as well, they have example about, I'm talking about frugal innovation that is under the umbrella of the social innovation. So frugal innovation in India, they had the case of I remember, when you had the problem with your heart, that you had to take a special, test for your heart. They are taking computer and they are creating like, very clever innovation, and they are putting in the service to poor people, because at the end, putting, frugal innovation is how we can use really efficient products or service in order to reduce the cost and access to people that they don't have the incomes to pay for that, some kind of services. And in Colombia, I know when you're talking about innovation coming from the government, for solve solution that we have here, I think that the best that we can do is to, complement, work with social entrepreneurs and the government, because we are looking for the same objectives, so I think it's the best way to work together, because we are pursuing the same goals. That's my opinion about that.
Thank you, Jose. And the same situation is in Russia. We have the same situation. Thank you.
Yeah, we have I would like to bring something. In Agro Social, we made a research with 13 people, like there are 13 great reference in social impact in Brazil. People from government, people from companies, people from nonprofits, and people from communities. And trying to understand how can the ecosystem of social impact in Brazil can create more impact. And of course, we have a lot of responses, but a lot of answers, but one of the answers that came a lot, it was the collaboration. So we have to collaborate more between the sectors, between nonprofits, between companies, and between governments, and etc. And so it started to appear in the interview something very interesting. Everyone says that a social entrepreneur must be a protagonist. So he must be a determined person. He had to achieve results, and etc., 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 etc. But when you look to this perspective, the social entrepreneur has a difficult and a long way to walk. So I would like to share a little my screen just to show something for you. As I said, I had just a few slides, so I don't want to say a lot. Okay, so this is a very nice thing. This is called social innovation life cycle. We have a lot of models of social innovation life cycle. So this one is from Felipe Santos, that is this teacher from ISAE that I like a lot of him. So I bring his methodology. Okay, we have here a perspective of impact and a perspective of time. Okay, and this is how the line goes during the time and during the impact perspective. Everything started with a problem solution. So I will describe a story of a company that I am very close and I like a lot, and I'm an investor in there. So it will be more easy to understand. We have a person, a guy called Brian. He stays here in Paraná, in a city. We have a lot of fishermen in there. So this guy, he's a son of a fisherman, so he likes a lot of fishing. He understands a lot of about this area, and he saw a problem. What is the problem? The fishermen, they work a lot. When they go to the sea, they work for 12 hours trying to get to fish. When they came to sell this fish, the revenue of the family in the end of the month, it's like 1,000 reais. We are talking about less than $200. We're saying about a few money only for all the family. His wife, the children. So we have a revenue problem here. But he started to think, well, everybody eats fish. Everybody likes fish. Fish is not a cheap food. It's an expensive food. Why everybody eats, everybody pays a lot for it, but this guy, this fisherman, he have a so small revenue. You are understanding my English is good, it's okay. If you don't understand, please just say, because I don't practice for a long time, so please just raise your hand. Okay, so Brian, this guy, he started to think, why this happened? And he created a solution of three main points, I can say. The first one is to fair trade. So I will pay fair for this fisherman. The second one is the wife, the parents of this fisherman, they can work in final products, and they can make the beneficiament of this fish. How can I say this? So the fisherman brings the whole fish, so his wife will make this clean, will make in slice, can make some final products as I don't know in English, how can I say this? But something that you put in the freeze and then you just put in the, you can sell right straight to eat. You understand? Yes. And the third pillar, assignment club. where I, as a customer, can assign, and every month I will receive fish right in my house. So the idea is to create more value in the first steps of the chain and sell it right to the customer. Don't sell to a supermarket and the supermarket sell to the, no, I can sell direct to the final customer. Understand the solution? So he created a solution. This solution, he have to create a business model. So he have an idea, but this business model, they are sustainable. They sustainable. It's something that it's possible to make it grow. And after the business model it's ready, we started the phase of scalability. So we started to try to replicate it. And after this, where I have a lot of people being beneficiary, I have a lot of results and impact, I go to the dissemination. What do I have in these phases? In the first step, problem solution, Brian, as the example here, he used creativity, innovation, prototype, and etc. and etc. So he was a really entrepreneur in the sense of test and recreated and test again and make prototype and etc. 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 After create the solution and testing the solution, he goes to business model. In the business model, he tried to make partnerships, to make selling, to create channel, to measurement the impact. And after this, Brian is in this step now. He will go to scalability. Okay, I will make this in one city, 2 cities. How can I make partnerships and I can create process to make franchise or other ways to scalability this methodology? And after the scalability, he goes to dissemination. What is dissemination? Influence public policy, influence quality, influence great systems and the architecture of our system, our government, to really change the way and transformate the way the fish is happening in Brazil. Okay? The idea is, in the beginning, entrepreneurship. In the middle, the role, the skills are skills from management. So he needs management skills. And in the third part, evangelization. What's the idea? To disseminate the social innovation, to influence laws, to influence public policy, to influence the actors and the system of how it works. You can understand that the main idea, it's clear to you, or maybe my explanation, how it was clear? Just good. So that is how a social innovation behavior. What is the difficult of collaborating? And now I want to get back in the point of Jose. So what is the difficulty? The entrepreneur, Brian, they are really focused every day in get fish, sell fish, pay the accounts, and pay the team, and etc. and etc. and etc. and etc. So, like I'm describing Brian here just as an example. I passed from the same for the same steps. So every social entrepreneur passed through those same steps. In the beginning, you have to make a sustainable business model. And this in some, especially in developing countries, that is a very, very hard thing to do. Create a sustainable business model. So the entrepreneur stays so focused in create social business model sustainable that he or she does not have time to collaborate, to work with public policy, to work with companies, and etc. and etc. So the routine of the social entrepreneur, it's very hard, and the collaboration, it's very low in the beginning. after the structure came, the business model, be sustainable and etc., he will look to collaborate. But in the day by day routine, it's very difficult to collaborate. So that is why we have a lot of social innovation in a lot of parts of the country, Brazil, I'm saying, and they don't talk with each other. It was possible to understand. Please tell me something. Yes. Make sense this for you? Okay. What else?
Yeah.
Aditya, you would say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, so there are some problems which will not be addressed by, say, the industry per se. Some, say, for example, you could have medicines which are there, which would, for which there are not too many patients, right? You still need those medicines to be available to those people, but there are no ways to for big pharmaceutical companies to take that up, because it doesn't add to their profitability. I mean, there are many other such problems, and even I think that would add to the social innovation that is required. The kind of problems that industry or established companies would not be able to address, but they can still be addressed by a social innovation group.
Let me see if I understand. You were asking if you have problems that industry are not social problems that the industry are not attacking and they can attack?
Yeah, they cannot attack because it will not fit in the profit model.
Okay. Well, Aditya, what can I say to you? Solving problems, social problems, can be profitable, but in the most part of the times as a long-term profit. And you have the companies looking for the short term. So for an example, I will say about, if you take, let me see. It's easier to sell to the rich than sell to the poor. So you have in Brazil a huge problem that is habitation. That's how can I say it, Gustavo? Or
yeah, agora sim.
Habitation? Habitação.
I think it's habitation, like for.
Okay, so we have a huge problem of habitation in Brazil. We have almost I don't remember exactly, but it's like 400 million people that live in homes where they are not safe, like in homes that have healthy problems, or homes that they have the risk of it goes down, etc. Okay, so you have a huge market. You have 40 million people needing of this. They will need of all the things that the civil construction needs. But it's not like creating a huge building where all the money is in here. You have small clients that they cannot pay. What is the big problem? That a regular company, they will see it not works for me to sell this small adaptation in the house of the Sebastian, because Sebastian have a few money, they cannot pay, he has a low salary, etc. So I don't want to do this. And what we are seeing, that those big companies, they are just looking in the most part of the times, where the money is. And the social entrepreneurs think, Sebastian, I can make this. Gustavo, you know how is reforma?
Forma?
Reformar casas.
Refurbishing something.
Refurbishing. Okay, refurbishing. Everyone understand? Yeah.
Maybe
like
rebuild.
Rebuild, yeah, rebuild, can be rebuilt. Okay, thank you, Daisy. So, the social entrepreneur, look, I can rebuild Sebastian home, but it will be a small rebuild because he cannot like rebuild everything at once. He will make in a lot of phases during a lot of years, and I can make this very cheap for Sebastian. For Sebastian can pay me, and I will make it very cheap because I will use the local task force, the local team. So people who are in the community, who are unemployed, I can pay them and I can make the money stay on the community, and etc. etc. So we have, like in Brazil, 100 of social entrepreneurs that do this same thing. Okay, and I believe in India and Russia and other places who have the same issues with habitation. So the problem of the big company, it's the big company are not, they don't are focused to look for this population and the long term. Okay, so if you look 30 years ago, Prahalad created a book called, I don't know in English, but I believe it's the riches of the base of the pyramid. I don't know if
yeah, it's like a BOP markets, based on the pyramid markets.
Yes, based on the pyramid markets. Yeah, BOP. Yes, and he in 30 years ago, he started to describe this. Okay, you don't have to sell only for the rich one, you can sell. So in 2011, Michael Porter bring this to shared value. So Michael Porter says, okay, shared value, you can have a sustainable chain, you can sell to the poor and make them happy, and you can develop your communities, and these are the three main ways to create shared value. So the companies are starting to look this, but the structure is too big to look to these prototypes and etc. And of course, Aditya, I made in 2016, I made the program with Michael Porter and Michael Kramer about about creating shared value. And in the end of the program, a student, a colleague asked to Michael Porter, okay, Michael Porter, what is the difference between social entrepreneurship and shared value? And Michael Porter said something very nice. He says, okay, if I am a social entrepreneur that wants to make America eat more apple, I will start creating a social innovation, then I will create a business model, then I will ask for investor, and if I have success during the next 20 years, I will reach my goal, and this will be like a little small chance of this get right. Okay, this is Michael Porter saying. I'm not saying that I agree with him. Okay, but if I want tomorrow to have America eating more apple, I put this in the Mac meal, and everyone will be eating more apple tomorrow. Okay, I put in the McDonald's Mac Happy Meal. I don't remember. Okay, so this is a perspective from the companies. But again, in my opinion, you have a problem of intention, you have a problem of purpose. So when you don't have the purpose of really make a healthy meal for the people, for the Americans, you just make them eat more apple, and tomorrow they will bring in French fries and etc. etc. So the great capacity of the companies is scale. If you are inside of the company, you make this, you have a scale. If you are a social entrepreneur, you have to pass through all those phases during entrepreneurship. And if you have success, you will be a Yunus someday. Okay, so that is the main difference. And of course, Isabel asked before about the public innovation. public, it's best. It's the same idea of the companies. You have a scale, you have you are not so fast because public in most part of the times are very, very slow, but you have a lot of scale, and this could be a very good way of create transformation. Okay, but coming back to the point before, the difficult it's collaborating. We have a lot of different languages in the sector. So you have companies trying to make social change in Brazil, but when you go to the social entrepreneurship, they are not able to talk with companies, because companies thinking profit, thinking results, are very methodic, and the social entrepreneur, it's like a different. He's not in the formal way. He is not have the same conversation. When you go to the public sector, oh my God. So the public sector is 3 years just you think to start to change something, and the social entrepreneur in 3 years made a lot of things. So it's a very different language. I believe it happens in Brazil, but happens in all world.
Yeah, but I think the most important is to try to work, with the ecosystem. In Colombia, we have, very clear what is the ecosystem, so we can mix all together the main actors. So, for example, the university, we are part of the ecosystem. So we have the financial actor, we have the companies, we have the social entrepreneur, we have the education. I mean, many actors. And the previous speaker, she was talking about, the Yunus idea, and they had a good idea about what is social business, because social business, the main intention of the social business is to solve, social problems, but at the same time, you need to be financial sustainable. So that's really clear for them, because, some of the problem with the social entrepreneur, because they have a lot of heart, they have a lot of empathy, but they are not clear about the way to run a business. So now maybe you are really passionate about what you're doing, but you are not clear about your business model, like profits, your incomes. At the end of the day, you're putting a lot of heart, but you are not getting results. So social business from the point of view is quite interesting, because they are mixing, taking the profit, the social sustainable, and join with the passion and the idea to solve problems, So I think it's very important to talk about that.
Perfect, Zem. Very, 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 very nice point. Well, what else? I have some more points. I can go through them, or maybe we just can't talk a little more. How it's for you?
I have a point I would like to share, because when we talk about social, there is no perfect solution, I think. So we try to a social impact, a positive impact, but sometimes our work doesn't solve totally the problem, and you have to manage the incomplete solution. You talk about habitation. I work in a business that make land regularization and this is very hard, because the company has 20 years and we made a lot, but have a lot more to do. So we have to manage this anxiety, because we can't solve all the problem. We solve a little part, especially in Brazil.
Yeah, this is, Daisy, it's very nice, because like I know a lot Terra Nova, André Albuquerque, and the team in there. It's a very, very beautiful social business. If you had the opportunity to search more about Terra Nova, it's a great social business. And in ACID, we have the same perspective. Like we stay. In the last 13 years, we impacted almost 150,000 people with disabilities. That is a lot. if you look, like we started as 3 friends in university with no money, and okay, let's start this and non-profit, and it was a very nice movement. But if you look to Brazil, we have a 15 million people with disability, where 2.6 million are in a misery conditions, and you have a lot of excluded problem, and etc. 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 So of course we create social change, yes, but it was just a point. It was just unstarted. But I believe, Daisy, that the most important, not the most important, but an important thing, it's ACID will not solve the inclusion of disabled people in the society in Brazil, not alone. But of course, ACID and what ACID is doing, what is Terra Nova doing, are inspiring a lot of people to look, maybe in my company, how can I create social change? Look what Daisy is doing, Terra Nova, very nice. Maybe in my company I can do something. Maybe in the public policy I can do something. Maybe I can be a social entrepreneur. Maybe I can be a social entrepreneur. So I believe this inspiring movement, it's very important, because for me, that's my perspective, the social impact era is not about what you do, it's about why you do. So the why will change the what, not the opposite. So if maybe Gustavo inside ISAE, he says, okay, we have knowledge in ISAE, we have something here, we can create social impact inside of ISAE to the community. He's starting something as an social entrepreneur, and maybe Natalia can do the same in other side, and etc. etc. So this is the movement. It's create a new mentality. It's create a non-competitive mentality, a collaborative, a cooperative mentality to create a new economic. So I believe a lot of in this movement, and the cooperation maybe will not be a cooperation where all are together, because we have a lot of difficulty to create this collaboration, but each one in his own step, his own locality, community, will create change. And this is inspiring movement. It's very important for me. So create this inspiration in all the people to create social change. I believe this a lot. How is our time? I'm lost here. Okay, we have a few minutes, right, Gustavo? More? Someone want to bring something? How is it for you? I can bring more things if you want. Yeah, so I go. Okay. So another point that I would like to really share with you very quickly, we have some concepts about social innovation. I will not enter in those details, but I would like to share 3 types of social innovation. This is a more theoric thing. I said that for Gustavo that my idea was to bring some concepts and some basis and discussion. And I believe in the other sessions we will have more examples and more things like this. But I think it's nice to have some basis to you go enter this week. So this is a classification. So like we have the social innovation that start in the community. I will give an example. I am in a very poor community here in Curitiba. And then I look what I see. I look to young people going to drugs. And then I started a nonprofit organization that will help these young people to maintain in the school and don't go to drugs and etc. And then I see that the mother of those young people, they are those mothers don't do anything in their home. So I create a program to create revenue for those mothers and teaching some things and sell some things and revenue and etc. And then I see another opportunity where I have a sport opportunity and I can create a project to sport to those young people, and etc., etc. This is the social bricklayer. Sorry, I made a mistake here. This is a community social innovation. It's an innovation that fits very, very good in the community, because it's a local knowledge that make you create all those innovations for that community. So the idea is create a systemic impact. So maybe you see this in your countries, or we have a lot of examples here in Brazil, where we have a local organization, business, or in this case are more non-profit organization that create a systemic impact, act in a lot of areas of the same community: sports, culture, education, revenue generation, and etc. In the most part, the scale is limited because I act in the community. I make everything in the community. The second type, it's what we say as a constructivist social. It's more oriented by market demand. This is the most part of the social business are here. You are not looking for a systemic change. You see a market opportunity, where in this market opportunity, you solve a social problem, like Terra Nova does, like this company of the fish that I described before does. So I look at this market opportunity and I go. It will not be a systemic way of look things. It will be one way. So I create scale. I go to around Brazil. I go to the whole areas of Brazil, solving a social problem of revenue, or maybe sports, or maybe something. Have a more scale potential, have a market demand, a market fit, so it's more sustainable model. In the most part, here we will not have a sustainable model. Here we will find a sustainable model, and I will look to scale, to sustainability, but not a systemic change, a part change. In most part of the times, we have a social business here. And we have the third classification, that are the social engineers. These are the people who are not trying to create a community change or a social business with a market fit. These are the people who are trying to create a new architecture of our society. So are trying to change public policy, are trying to change the laws, the structure of the society. So I will include disabled people. One thing, it's maybe I will started to do this in Curitiba, including disabled people in sports, in education, and etc., and etc., etc. The other, it's to find a market fit. Maybe I can include disabled people in the companies, and I do this in the whole Brazil. And the other way is to include disabled people, but I will not make any one of those before. I will try to change the public policy where the schools can receive disabled people. So I change all the education in Brazil because I'm working with the government. Here, the greatest difficulty, the greatest challenge, it's the legitimation, where I am trying to do something very big, so I'm not legitimated by the government if I can do this. So most part of the social innovation starting as this or this, and after 20, 30 years goes to trying to change the social architecture. Okay, so this author Za brought to us those three types of social innovation. Okay, so this is nice to understand that we can have social innovation in different perspectives, in the community perspective, in the market fit perspective, and in the social architecture perspective. Okay, of course, have a lot of other theories. I like this because I think it's simple and practical to understand the main frames of the social types, the social innovation types. Make sense? It was good or no? Yeah? Okay. Gustavo, we are right on time. How it's for you?
Perfect, Alexandre. It's really also really inspiring. As I mentioned in the beginning, we had the first session bringing some challenge and this systemic view, and now we start to bring some perspective about solutions and how to work on that, and how to see innovation at that point. And this is something that we would like to have of outcomes of this program. As we look to the challenges are there, we see lots of challenges, especially being from emerging markets. So we have here Mexico, Russia, India, Brazil, and Colombia. And so really, as I said, huge nations, but also with huge problems and challenges. But I think we share something in common in these economies, that is the need for change and the protagonist for change. So I really see people doing things for change reality and doing building solutions, bringing different perspectives, and all the 5 countries here are really innovative. The people are really innovative and passionate about it. So this is something we share and we connect and interact. So I think bringing this insights today in the first day, it's good for overcome and fall on the next day with more discussions and examples. So thank you for your time here. Anyone have any questions, additional questions to Alexandre? I know we are right on time, but great.
Hey guys, just to I hope that I can help you to understand more about social innovation and have a more a perspective about it. So I hope that I had be useful in this time. And one point more that I just like to say, it's about what Isabel said in very beginning. It's about listening, okay? So you cannot create social innovation without listening, without co-creation. So it's different perspective. It's today we have a lot of design thinking thoughts that say, okay, you have a co-create and with the customer, etc. If I can give an advice who wants to work with social innovation in any perspective, public, companies, etc., see a video, a TED Talks that says, if you want to help someone, shut up and listen. It's from Ernesto Siroli. It's a fantastic, I always say that you have in 20 minutes like an MBA class in there, because it's wonderful. It's wonderful. He says the practice with an examples, and the base of social innovation is to empower. So to empower, to create systemic change, you have to listen, you have to be very close, you have to work with. Okay, it's not like oh, we will bring the fantastic minds or from MBA, from Harvard, INSEAD, blah, 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 I don't know where you are, and put all of them here and they will create something fantastic. No. The idea is let's go to the field and join people and create with them. So that is the basic thought of social innovation. That have to be clear in your minds if you want to work in your companies or in a non-profit or in the social business or maybe in the public. Okay, so that's my final point. And if you I will leave my contact here. So if you need anything, maybe I can help and be useful in anything, just send me an email, please. It will be a pleasure to be with you and talk more. And I really hope that I can be useful here. And it was a good moment for me. I like the discussion. I hope you too. Okay. Thank you, Gustavo.
Thank you so much,
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the participation. Bye-bye. Thank you, Katya.
Thank you. So, everyone, we are heading up in the final first day of the program. So hope you really had enjoyed the discussions and presentations and different perspectives that we tried to bring today. Tomorrow we will follow this discussion. We are bringing, we're having Flavia, who are going to talk more about social innovation in Brazil. So we are going to deep immerse in this concept and topics and sharing examples and good practices about how this is happening on practice. And in the second part, we're going to talk about the whole of business on everything. So Alexandre mentioned about social innovation inside companies, inside business. And tomorrow we'll have Orlando, who are going to share some expertise on investment for impact. So how company can use money and profit and to help the world being a better local, help communities and help to increase innovation and social innovation and changing perspectives on that. So we're going to immerse a little bit on these topics, okay? So see you everyone tomorrow, 9 a.m. in Brazil, 7 a.m. in Mexico and Colombia, 3:30 p.m. in Russia, 3 p.m. in Russia, and 5:30 p.m. in India. So see you tomorrow, everyone. Bye-bye.
See you. See you.